One of the most famous is just Fontaine's 13 goals in the 1958 World Cup. What makes it so remarkable is that Fontaine wasn't even supposed to start for France. Injuries gave him the chance, and in just 6 matches he tore through defenses with a ruthlessness that has never been matched. Modern World Cups are far more balanced, with elite defenders and organized tactics everywhere, making it virtually impossible for a single player to hit double digits, let alone 13, in one tournament. Fast forward to 2012, and we find another seemingly untouchable achievement: Lionel Messi's 91 goals in a single calendar year. Barcelona's tiki-taka machine revolved around him, and he scored in nearly every match he played across all competitions and internationals. Even Cristiano Ronaldo at his peak could only reach 69 in a year. Today, squad rotation, defensive structures, and tighter calendars mean nobody will likely come close again. If Messi owns the most prolific single year, then Cristiano Ronaldo owns international football. With over 123 goals for Portugal, he has set a benchmark that seems out of reach. His unmatched longevity, the sheer number of qualifiers and tournaments Portugal have played, and his ability to remain lethal into his late 30s explain the total. Other greats like Messi, Neymar, or Lewandowski have all scored heavily, but none look remotely capable of reaching his stratosphere. On the global stage, no one matches Pelé's 3 World Cup titles. He won his first as a 17-year-old prodigy in 1958, added a second in 1962 despite being injured for much of the tournament, and then led what many consider the greatest team of all time in 1970. In today's game, the spread of talent makes even back-to-back World Cups rare. For one man to win 3 is nearly unthinkable. When we talk about goal scoring, few things are stranger than Rogério Ceni's 131 career goals as a goalkeeper. The São Paulo legend took penalties and free kicks for over 2 decades. No modern coach would ever let a keeper consistently leave his goal to take set pieces, making his record a beautiful relic of a bygone era. Goalkeepers feature again in the story of Lev Yashin, still the only one to ever win the Ballon d'Or back in 1963. Nicknamed the Black Spider, Yashin redefined goalkeeping with his command of the penalty area and acrobatic saves. In the decades since, even the very best keepers, Neuer, Buffon, Casillas, have not been able to break the stranglehold attackers have on football's most prestigious individual prize. Some records owe their existence to sheer absurdity. In 1885, Scottish side Arbroath defeated Bon Accord 36-0 in the Scottish Cup. The twist: Bon Accord were not even a football club but a cricket team mistakenly entered. The result remains the largest margin of victory in professional football. Given seeding, professionalism, and tighter rules, nothing close to this will ever happen again. Others are about sheer dominance over time. Steaua Bucharest went 104 games unbeaten in Romania between 1986 and 1989, a run that defies imagination. The next closest in major European football, AC Milan in the early 1990s, managed 58. In today's hyper-competitive leagues, such a stretch is inconceivable. Longevity also shapes the careers of individuals like Dani Alves, the most decorated player in football history with 43 trophies. His career saw him collect silverware with Barcelona, Juventus, PSG, and Brazil, an accumulation that required both skill and luck in being at the right clubs at the right times. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have collected enormous hauls, but Alves still sits alone on top. Another mark of longevity belongs to Ryan Giggs, who scored in 22 consecutive top-flight seasons for Manchester United, stretching from the birth of the Premier League until his retirement in 2014. This kind of consistency requires not just talent but also extraordinary fitness and loyalty to one club. In today's era of frequent transfers and squad rotations, it seems impossible for anyone to replicate. European competition provides its own untouchable feats. Cristiano Ronaldo again appears with his 5 Champions League wins and status as the tournament's all-time top scorer. He holds the record for most goals in a single campaign, 17 in 2014, a figure that seems untouchable given the difficulty of consistently scoring against Europe's elite. There are also quirky league records. In the 1950s, Stjepan Bobic scored 51 goals in a single season in Yugoslavia. In modern times, Messi came closest with 50 in La Liga, but with tighter defenses and tactical discipline, surpassing 51 is improbable. Some records are about defying age. Stanley Matthews played top-level football until he was 50, a feat that simply would not survive the physical demands of the modern game. Even Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Gianluigi Buffon, and Paolo Maldini eventually bowed out in their early 40s. Matthews' endurance stands apart. And finally, consider the staggering number of appearances made by Peter Shilton. Across club and country, the English goalkeeper racked up 1,390 matches. In an age of packed schedules, player rotation, and shorter careers, it is hard to imagine anyone else approaching that number. Buffon managed more than 1,000, but Shilton remains in a class of his own. Cristiano Ronaldo, 200-plus international caps. No outfield player had ever come close to this before him, staying at the top level for Portugal for 2 decades, across qualifiers, tournaments, and friendlies, is extraordinary. The physical toll on modern players makes it unlikely anyone else will surpass such longevity in international football. Gareth Barry, 653 Premier League appearances. The English midfielder outlasted generations of players, turning out week after week for Aston Villa, Manchester City, and Everton. With today's intense schedules and the trend of players moving abroad or retiring earlier, few will stick around long enough to challenge this tally. Afonso Alves, 7 goals in a single Eredivisie match, 2007. While League One game records sometimes feel fragile, Alves' 7-goal haul for Heerenveen against Heracles is safe. Defenses today are far more organized, and even the most dominant strikers rarely get more than 4 in a match. Brazil's 35-game unbeaten run, 2021-2022. Brazil went unbeaten across all competitions for nearly 3 years. In a world where international football is increasingly unpredictable and travel fatigue is real, maintaining such a streak is highly unlikely again. Germany 7-1 Brazil, 2014 World Cup. This was the most shocking World Cup result ever. In a semi-final against the host nation and 5-time champions, Germany dismantled Brazil in a way that stunned the world. The combination of stage, scoreline, and historical context makes this a one-off that will likely never be repeated. Miroslav Klose, 16 career World Cup goals. Klose wasn't the flashiest striker, but he was ruthlessly consistent across 4 tournaments. The key was not scoring huge tallies in one year, but steadily contributing. Even Messi and Ronaldo couldn't match his World Cup total. It will take a player featuring in at least 4 deep World Cup runs to even get close. Oliver Kahn, only goalkeeper to win the Golden Ball at a World Cup, 2002. Kahn almost single-handedly carried Germany to the final in Japan and Korea, making jaw-dropping saves until his one mistake in the final. No goalkeeper before or since has been recognized as the best player at a World Cup, and given FIFA's love for attacking players, Kahn's achievement is likely unique. AC Milan, 58-game unbeaten run in Serie A, 1991-1993. This was the era of Bercy, Maldini, and Van Basten, and Milan simply didn't lose in the league for 2 years. Serie A was considered the toughest league in the world at the time, making it even more astonishing. No modern side with today's competition and fixture congestion is likely to match this. England, longest wait for a trophy, 1966 present. This one is painful for English fans. Despite generations of talent, England haven't added to their 1966 World Cup. While not technically a record in the sense of an achievement, it has become a historic drought that seems to stretch on endlessly. India's 1950 World Cup withdrawal without kicking a ball. India qualified for the 1950 World Cup but withdrew, citing travel costs and preparation issues. Famously, and somewhat mythically, it was said because they wanted to play barefoot. It remains the only time a team has qualified and not shown up. A quirky record of sorts that will almost certainly never happen again in modern football. Ferenc Puskás, 84 goals in 85 games for Hungary. Internationally, Puskás' record for Hungary is jaw-dropping. His combination of power, technique, and leadership made the mighty Magyars the most feared side of the 1950s. Modern international football is too competitive for such a strike rate. Alan Shearer, 260 Premier League goals. No one has scored more in England's top flight. Shearer's record stands above Harry Kane's chase. He may yet surpass it if he returns from Germany. But Shearer's blend of longevity and consistency in an era before squad rotation makes his tally iconic. Lothar Matthäus, 5 World Cup tournaments played. The German legend is one of the few to appear in 5 World Cups. In the modern era, few players manage the fitness and consistency to span 2 decades at the highest level. Buffon, Rafa Marquez, Messi, Ronaldo, and Ochoa have joined him, but 6 appearances seems unreachable. And there we have it, folks, football records that will never be broken. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment ideas of videos I should make in the future, but until then, it is a goodbye for now.